Okay, welcome to Hell, the Last Saga. This is on Tabletop Simulator. I'm going to be doing Scenario 1 today. I'm also using the soundtracks that have been officially released from Mythic Games, just to get a bit of ambience, certainly when I start reading through what's happening. So I'm going to start with reading through the start of the rulebook, which tells you what actually happened first of all. There was a king named Hakon who ruled over the most valiant of the northern clans. He was said to be gifted with the power to hear the gods whisper on a moonless winter night. He dreamed of an island where the earth was fertile, the cattle abundant, and where the deities walked alongside the brave. This dream was so lucid and of such clarity that when he awoke, he gave instructions for the route to the island to be tattooed onto the back of his most faithful warriors. King Hakon then gathered his champions to embark towards this promised Valhalla. 1 year later, the rest of the clan is joining them, and this is kind of where we come in. And the exodus began under the opal eye of fate. Gifter, watch over the brave fleet. Grant them mercy and support. It's with the winds and the rags of foam that we float on the tumultuous hair of Aegar's daughters. Tumultuous, even. Treacherous mermaids, who first guide us and whisper our praise, then lead us straight into stormy hands, which Aegar, father of the waters, manipulates with rage. We continue our journey, winding through rocks, whose top hide in the clouds. How to not lose more men and reason when facing this maze. Are we alone in the face of fate, guided by the tortured souls of our own brothers? It seems that we gave up too hastily to despair. Earth, land, straight ahead. Where have our brothers gone who left several solstices ago? The answer is there, straight ahead of us, and our fleet, not quite defeated so victorious, will discover the mysteries behind the silence of our predecessors. Okay, so we've actually landed onto onto this island that King Hakon first went through a year ago, and our clan has now arrived. So I'm going to talk about Tabletop Simulator. I'll talk about the rules as we go through them. But I'm literally going to jump straight in to the intro story of 1. So this is scenario 1 is actually the expedition scenario, and we're doing song 1. And the songs are like acts, and then those acts are linked into different chapters or parts. Yeah, the art's amazing in this game, and the miniatures are just out of this world. So first of all, I need to make sure I choose a colour so I can actually interact with the board itself. Okay. So, the Bloody Horn. After the storms we've endured, the morale of the crew is at an all-time low. None of our prayers seem to be heard. Fishing is futile. These barren waters will not provide us with anything. And the fever has managed to invade the ranks of even the strongest. Alvar has been sick for 2 days now, and his strength seems to be failing. The elements are against us. An insidious wind tries to wear away what little hope we have left, and the mist is stifling all of our senses. It's hard to fight against the despondency that weighs down on our feeble shoulders. Yet the shape that emerges on the horizon escapes no one. Is it a hallucination? This massive spiny neck surmounted by a dragon's head with gaping mouth? But our minds are deceiving us, as I quickly realise the nearer we draw to the coast. In the end, it is only the prow of our King Hakon's longship, hoisted on top of a wooden tower. The whole ship is struck dumb with bewilderment, but we do not lose hope. Through the blanket of white that surrounds us, our horn resonates. We sound it repeatedly in the hope of hearing an answer from our loved ones. But only an icy silence accompanies the last strokes of our oars. Now, in the most painful manner possible, we must deal with a small rocky shoreline with shards as sharp as the Ulfbert blade. A path stretches out in front of us, tracing irregular curves along a silent coastline. It is shrouded in the mist that the dogs are at every step. We must hurry. Many of us are wounded, and our Jarl Alvar is dying. His daughter Erica is at his side, and that's the only comfort he can get for now. The proud Bergen jumps to the ground, determined to climb the path that separates us from our brothers and to bring help. The fittest among us will follow her. So, we've landed, but our Jarl, our leader Alvar, is injured, and he's effectively dying. He will be kept company by his daughter Erica and the queen, the Christian queen Petronia. We do have to take Bergen on this journey, but we get a choice of 3 other characters as long as they're not the ones that are from the non-playable list. They're all going to start with 1 wound, and we're going to grab our characters first of all. So, Bergen is she's a shield maiden, she's a fantastic fighter, and I'll use the miniatures for this particular one. So let's move our characters over here. And you'll notice she's got a familiar. That familiar is a bear. And the story behind the bear is it's a cub. It's a bear cub, and its mother you killed, which is what you're wearing around the shoulders. So quite an interesting story, but it is very loyal to you. In terms of her, Bergen, she's very fierce. As I said, she's the shield maiden. She's got quite a high standing in the clan. She's got a 9, and the highest is 13 at the moment. And there's 6 attributes that deal in the game, and they're all linked to tests. So you've got Valiance, Defense, Agility, Survival, Perception, and Will. And you'll do different tests for different activities that you'll do and different actions. Valiance, as it would suggest, is an attack. So when you do an attack, and she's got some abilities which really help her in her attack. She's got her defense to defend against any threats that might come along to us. Her agility is average 2, which means that she'll be able to basically move 2 hexes on the board. She's got survival of 3, which is above average, and that's good for hunting in this particular scenario. She's not very perceptive, so her perception's quite low. So trying to search for different things, that's not her strong point. But she's got an average will, and will is about her religion. She's actually a wild religion. That's her belief. There's 3 beliefs in the game. There's Norse, Christianity, and wild. And these 3 kind of mingled within the clan itself. So, with our first person chosen, we do need someone with a decent perception. That's definitely going to be true. And I think we're going to go with the witch, Ingwald, who's got the highest perception out of all the characters of 4. And she's also got a really nice owl as her familiar. So let's grab Inglewood's stuff and bring that back down over here. So she's the old witch, and I'll show you the miniatures in a second, the renders anyway. If I can select that card, would be useful. There we go. Okay, and so we've got 2 familiars at the moment. Let's lock those in place. Then we need another 2 characters. So I think we'll go with another really strong character. The ones we can't take are Petronia, the queen, Alvar, our Jarl, and Erica, his daughter. Erica is an absolute phenomenal warrior. Very, very strong in this game. So I think we'll go with a really fun character, which is just a berserker, a brute called Dreng, as our next character. And you'll get to know these characters as I play through this particular scenario. Now, he doesn't have a familiar. You'll notice he hasn't got a familiar token. So he's got a special ability. So all characters will either have a special ability or a familiar, which you can deploy. And finally, let's go for... I think we might go for the Madman. which is just a really cool character. He's got a cat as a familiar, and he actually believes in everything, which is really quite fun. So we'll grab him next. And they will be my chosen 4 characters for this particular scenario. Okay, so let's zoom in and have another quick look. So first of all, Bergen, who's the shield maiden, her miniature will come with the bear cub herself, and it's a really nice sculpt. And as I said, she's got some fantastic abilities. Makes her very strong as a warrior. Combat's really nice. Gives an extra dice, so rolling 6 dice in attack. She's got protection, which helps in defense. She also can shoot from distance, so she doesn't have to be in the same hex. And when she does do a melee attack, she actually gets like a wild on that. Nature's chosen one, Ingward, the witch. She actually grants wild religion to all characters in the same hex. She's not the fighter, as you would imagine, but she's certainly perceptive, and she's got goodwill, and she's got good survival as well. She's a healer, and she also offers support, so she's very much a support character. Dreng, who's got the most standing out of these 4 characters, is a well-revered fighter. He's Norse in terms of mythology, and he's got 6 attack dice. But not only that, if he goes off on his own, he's going to roll an extra dice, and he has other abilities that help him in attack and defense. He's got a low perception as well, but average across the board other than that. Arnulf, who is Gerulf, who is the Madman with Arnulf the cat. He's exceptionally good at perception, but very much at will. He has a shoot 1 ability, which is quite good, and an average stats across the board. He also has support, but he cannot pray. Gerulf cannot pray, but benefits from all beliefs effects. So having a will of 4 is a bit disappointing because he cannot pray. But he will benefit from all of these 3 if we choose to go and pray. So we're probably best to take the witch to go and pray. That's the idea. So they're the characters. You've got the witch statue with her familiar on her shoulder. And I believe in the you got Dreng, who's just a massive berserker warrior. He's missing a hand, which is strange, and we don't know why. And then you've got the Madman, who's got the old spinning top there with his cat. But again, really nice, hopefully synergy we'll see from this group. This is the board we have to start with, and we all start in this one area as we leave our ship, enter this unknown land, which we know, because we were guided by the gods, is where King Haakon went. But the problem is, we've been divided. In terms of our the rest of our clan, we've been divided. So we need to find out what's happened to our clan. What's happened to King Haakon and the rest of his brethren. So a few things on this board to note. This is very much a narrative game. So these saga tokens are very important. They push the story ahead. These have been revealed, A and B. These 2 down the bottom have not been revealed. So these will have to be searched using perception tests. This one will be quite hard because it's a difficulty of 3. This one, however, will only be a difficulty of 2. We also have some a quarry token here that we can hunt for food. We've got 2 threat tokens. So we don't know what their threats are, but they're certainly out there. And we also have some totems, which are effectively spawn points for the enemies. This is an AI-driven game, so no one plays the role of the island and the hostiles you encounter. So it is driven by an AI. This final space here is a worship site, and you can see the Norse Christianity and the wild symbol there for the beliefs. If you go into this hex, you can do a prayer action as one of your 2 actions. Each character will have 2 actions per round, and they'll be able to do that prayer action and hopefully pray to the gods and get some belief. So, how does this all tie in together? With the clan board. The clan board, let's reduce the size of that cube. The clan board will track your turns, your resources. So we have morale, we have food, and we have extra turn markers. It will tell you your current objectives. So we are trying to survive. It's a survival horror game, and we're trying to survive. So morale going down is not good. In fact, if we get to 0 morale, we will lose this scenario. And we're going to be trying to find our clan. That's what we're trying to get some evidence and try and find out what's happened here on this island. We have a fate card that we'll draw at the start of every round. We have tokens, the actual threat. So this is the threat AI card. And you'll notice this token are on the board with an attack of 3, a movement of 1. They shoot 1, and they will not engage us. There is also potentially going to be some more threats coming on the board. Once we reveal those threats, either by an ambush or by searching for them, we will see what those threats actually are by looking at those hostile cards. Finally, the 3 different religions and the benefits from those. We can pray to Glory of Tyr for any Norse character. We can pray for penance on any Christian character, or animal senses for any wild character. And the difficulty of that task is a will test with this difficulty. The only other thing is, what do we read? If we come to any of those saga tokens, that's shown to us by the number of passages we'll read for each of these letters in terms of the saga. So we're going to move on now to effectively play the game. So remember, what we said at the start is Alvar's injured. We must hurry and try and find a path that separates us from our brothers. And we need to find out what's kind of going on in this situation. So the first thing that happens is the one who has the highest standing out of this group of 4 becomes the leader of this party. And I'm just getting these wooden cues because this shows if the character has actually taken their activation. So we're looking at this number here, and we can see we got a 9, a 6, a 10, and the Madman is not thought highly in society as a 1. So Dreng is our leader. And the first thing that our leader will do is decide on who will the first character be. Now, if you're playing with more than one player, you would basically move around clockwise to players, activating one character at each time. And you would split up the characters as evenly as you possibly can. So in a 2-player game, you would each take 2 characters. In a 3-player game, one person would take 2 characters and the other 2 would take 1. And in a 4-player game, you take a character each. So what do we kind of want to do here? We've got a hunt quarry, which would be quite good to get us food, which will enable us to send out our familiars. We've got a shrine to pray to try and give us boons, which we can use linked to our belief. We do need to kind of reveal this story token. We need to go and see this story token, and we have to be mindful of threats. So there's quite a lot to choose from, and that's what makes this game replayable, is the fact that this can happen. So I think we're going to go and pray first. So I'm going to take Ingweld the witch, and I think the idea will be, I'm already thinking of giving her an extra action. So with her will of 3, she's got a good chance. Now, before I do this, what I might do, however, is I want that prayer to succeed. So if you've got someone else of the same belief as you, you get a +1 automatic success. So with that in mind, we're going to send the Madman first over to the shrine area. So we have decided on our scout. We now go back to this clan board, give these a shuffle, and we're going to draw our first fate card for turn 1. Of course, everything is narrative, and that's the idea of the game. Attack. Doesn't sound good. Small cries, at first distant and scattered, suddenly turn into a roar, uttered in unison. It is accompanied by the sounds of trampling feet and broken branches, coming closer. Whatever the threat, it is rushing towards you. Brace yourselves. Excuse me. So we immediately have to play a hostile phase before the hero phase. And then it doesn't say play the hostile phase. So this is going to be, we're going to have 2 hostile phases in this attack. So that's not good. Normally your heroes would all activate first, then you would come to a hostile phase, which is what we've got down here, and then you would spawn, and then you would have end effects. So we look at the threat card. One movement with shoot one. We go over to the board, and we move the threat. So this one will move to here. They ignore any difficult terrain. By the way, this symbol down here means difficult terrain, so it takes 2 movement points to get to it. This is really good if you're in a forest area with cover. If anyone does a ranged attack against you, you get an extra side on the dice to add to your successes. And this is what you need to do for a perception test to reveal any tokens. So they've moved into here, the threat, and they are 1 away, so they will attack. The other one just moves 1 closer. So they've moved, and now they now do all attacks. So this threat will attack this area with a shoot 1. If we have a little look at the card, you can see that the first thing, the first priority target, remember this is AI, means closest. Then, if it's tied for closest, which they all are, the one with the most wounds, which they will be tied to, so the one with the highest standing. So Dreng will be the target, and he will have to do a defense test of 3. Now, the last thing we need to do, of course, is, which I've forgotten to do, is we need to put a wound on every character. Because we've just come from our ordeal as a journey through the seas, and we are tired, we're hungry, and we are not at full strength. So to represent that, we've got these wound tokens, which are double-sided, 1 and 2 wounds. On the right-hand side of a player board are your abilities. Now, not only are they your abilities, they're your hit points. Each space can take 2 hit points. So Bergen, for example, has 6 hit points before she's knocked down or unconscious. It doesn't matter where we put these to start with because they're only 1 wound. As soon as it flips to 2 wounds, it means that you cannot use that associated ability. So for the moment, I'm just going to put these wound tokens on some of perhaps the lesser tokens that we need. Not that it's going to matter. We can still use all of those abilities. So now we've actually done that properly. Dreng is going to be attacked first. He's going to be attacked for a value of 3, doing a defense test, and he only has 2. But he does have someone with support next to him, so he can re-roll one of those dice. So we grab the 2 dice, and we're looking for successes. Remember, we got to try and beat 3. Any of the 3 that we do not block go as more wounds. Okay, so let's roll the dice. Selecting them and tapping R will roll dice, and we get 1 success. Now, support allows you to re-roll 1 dice in any tests. So we'll re-roll this one and hopefully get another one. We do. So we got 2 successes against an attack of 3 is the best way to think it. So that's going to be a wound. Now, I could put a single wound on again, but Dreng quite likes being double wounded on his abilities. It means he will not be able to do that. That is a problem. So actually, with that in mind, I think I am going to literally get another single wound and place that onto Frenzy. So that is an enemy phase done. So now we move over to the card, and we see that heroes, and this hand symbol is actions, are each going to get 2 actions each. What can you do on your actions? You can move, and you're only allowed to move once in your turn. You can attack, you can search, you can pray, and you can heal, and that's, or attempt to heal, and that's your kind of 3 actions. Now that this threat is here, we have a few other options. We do have to go with the Madman first, but his perception is 3. So while the threat token is right next to us, we could potentially send that through. But we got a few options here. We do start, if we have a look on our clan board, with 4 food and 8 morale, which means that we could send Anoff the cat to that threat token. Now, why would we want to do that? Number 1, Anoff could search and hopefully reveal that token. Number 2, when it is revealed and there's more than 1 hostile in the area, and that's basically on pips, and you'll see that when we do it, you reveal 1 less hostile, so it's a lot easier to destroy them. But I think with Dreng being so strong in his ability to attack, it kind of makes sense for Geralf to try and do a perception test to reveal this token so we can actually attack it without getting ambushed. Dreng could literally go headstrong into this hex, but he would get ambushed by this threat, whatever it is. So my first action for Geralf will be to do a perception test, which is going to be 3 dice. And again, Geralf will get support, this time from Inglewood, the witch, because he's in the same hex. And we are adjacent. So when you want to reveal tokens, you've got to be in an adjacent hex. Now, what is our target for this test? It's 2, as shown on this symbol here. So let's roll the 3 dice and see what happens. So we're looking for 2 successes. We do get 1 reroll, and we need it. Do we get it? We do not. Unfortunately, we do not pass. So that has failed. Now, there's no negative to failing. It just means you do not reveal the threat token. With that in mind, we are going to send, as my second action, a move action down to this area here, because we want that support for the witch. Okay, that is Geralf's turn. So now I have free reign to choose whichever characters I want to go next. Inglewood has got a fantastic perception of 4. But I've also got a couple of these which can work out really well. For example, Olaf the Bear can search for a threat and attack afterwards, and they reduce the defense by 1. So really, really strong in that case. You know what? Let's do that. I think we will be able to spend an extra action, go and get some food, and do everything in this one turn. So, we first put the cube down on Geralf to say that we've actually activated him, and we move over to Bergen. Bergen will deploy her bear first of all. And how you deploy a bear is you look at the agility, and then you can deploy that familiar up to that many hexes away from you. So the threat is only next to us. So let's put the bear Olaf there. It's going to cost me 1 food to send that to feed the bear. So let's take that away from our clan board. Now we're down to 3 food. And that's one of our actions. But it does say Olaf may search an area to reveal threats and attack a hostile in the order of choice. So with a perception of 2, it's only 2 dice to roll. Does not get the benefits of any of the people with them. So this is literally going to be trying to get a 2 with 2 dice, which we do not get. So again, unfortunately, we failed on that case. So never mind. I think we need to go and get some food. So our second action will be to move here. So that's her movement. And then I'm going to use a +1 action. Now we've only got 3 for this entire scenario, so this could be a bit foolhardy. But I want to show you what these different abilities and different actions do. So now we look at her survival, and it's 3. We're going to roll 3 dice, if I can find some more dice. So we've got the 3 dice. But if we read... just making sure... Unfortunately, it's only in melee that she gets additional stuff. So, yep, we're just going to do a 3 dice, and the number of successes equals the amount of food that we get from this. Nice. So we managed to get 3 food. So I'll put that one back up there, and then I'll go and get another 2 from our resource pool. And put that on the stack as well. So we now got 6 food, which will last us quite a while with all our familiars. Because she's hunted the quarry, that now disappears, because obviously we've just killed the quarry and we've taken the meat from that hunt. And that is Bergen done. We now move on to one of the other 2 characters. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with Inglewood. She's first going to try and reveal that threat. I don't particularly want Dreng to be near death straight away. So let's go for Inglewood's perception, which is 4. So she's got a very high perception. She needs 2 for this to succeed. Believe it or not, we still do not get 2. Unfortunately, there's no support there to help. So The rolling has not helped me at all in this particular round. It's not been very successful. The hunt was okay. But we did not actually reveal that threat. So with that in mind, I'm literally moving Inglewood down here so she can pray next turn. And I know I wasn't going to do it, but we are literally going to go in foolhardy. And Dreng, he's not afraid. He's going to run into here. Something I wouldn't highly recommend. Because what we do now is whenever you're in the same hex as a threat token, you get ambushed. So we flip it over. Oh, wow. Wow, that was lucky. In this case, that threat, there is no threat. Normally there's little pips on here, and it can be anywhere up to 3. That number of pips on an ambush is the amount of wounds that you take. It's completely unblockable. And then you place that number of miniatures there. No threat, no damage, and that threat has been dispelled. So it was just a feeling that we got that something was there. That was good. That's his one action. He does have another action. There's not much he can do. He can't move again. You can only move once in your turn. So I think he'll just pass. Well, no, let's try and do a heal action, just so you can see what that is. A heal action, you always only roll 1 dice. If they are not a healer, what happens is you need a success. If you get a success, which is 50-50 chance, you heal 1 wound. If you roll a blank, because they're not specialized, they rub salt on the wounds and they actually do an additional wound. So let's see what happens. Fantastic. So we do an additional wound. Never mind. Dreng, he doesn't care about healing himself. We actually do an additional wound. And that is now all 4 characters done and the hero phase complete. So now we move on to the actual enemy phase. So here we go, hostile phase. So first of all, threats move 1 because they have a movement of 1 and they've got a shoot of 1. So this threat will be attacking Bergen because it is 1 in. Bergen is in cover, so she will get an extra bit on her defense dice. She's also pretty good in defense. She's got 4 defense with protection. So she's going to be rolling 5 defense dice. Against, if you remember, 3 attack. So let's grab another dice. And we're going to roll these 5 dice now. We're trying to get 3. No support, though. But we do count. Oh, lovely. 5 defense, that is. So that easily blocks the attack from this threat, whatever this threat may be. Okay. So that's the enemy phase done. So then finally we go to the spawn phase. This is what the A, B, C, and D. And we put one of these lesser threat tokens onto A. So from over here, we randomly choose one of these threat tokens and we place it onto A. Sorry, not onto there, onto the totem A, which is next to Dreng. So maybe he wants to do that. Any familiars that were deployed come back to their owners. So they do not go out permanently. And then you look at the end effect. In this case, no effect, which is quite handy. Round 1 is complete, and we move on to the second round. We move the tracker first of all. And then we move over to our leader, who is Dreng, to decide on who the first player is. Again, cannot choose himself. So I think we need to pray first. So we're going to send Inglewood to be our scout. In other words, the first character to play. We then move over to our fate card, and we'll see what fate lies for us for this particular round. The weakest link. You must pull yourselves together. Those who are hiding and harassing you sense the fear that is creeping into the hearts of the less seasoned among you, and they are ready to exploit this failing. Showing the slightest weakness could cost you dearly. So the player controlling the hero with the lowest will and the lowest rank performs a test of will. So we're looking for the character basically with the lowest will. So let's go back over to our characters. And I believe so we got a bit of a tie. So it's Dreng and it's Bergen because they've both got the lowest will. Then we look to see it doesn't matter because it's the same player, but the one with the lowest rank. So it's going to be Bergen. She's going to do a test against Will. It's only a difficulty of 1, but if we fail, Bergen will become the prey of all threats until the end of this turn. So we don't follow the usual priority targets. It's literally just always Bergen. So let's roll the 2 dice of a Will. She's only got to get 1 result. That's all she's trying to aim for. So let's see if we can do this. Oh, and we do. We managed to get that 1 result, so we pass. Fantastic. We are going to get 2 actions of this round, but we are going to lose a morale at the end of the round. That's what that symbol is at the bottom. So, how many rounds have we got in total to complete the scenario? Well, this gives us a clue. We've got 7 turns to complete to win this scenario. Okay, so that's what we're going to aim to do. And we're trying to find these story icons. These are really the key in this game, is to further the narrative, the story, and figure out what's kind of going on. So, Inglewood is still our scout, and she's going to go first. She's going to pray to the gods, and she has to pray to the wild gods, because that's her religion. She's got a will of 3, so she's rolling 3 dice. But the good news is, the Madman is actually really going to help in this situation. Number 1, he is also has the belief in the wild religion. So he'll grant a +1 automatic success. He also has support, so I'll be able to re-roll 1 dice. So, what do we actually need to get to pray to the wild gods? So, we're looking at animal senses, which is really cool, because when you do a search from an adjacent area, you basically get an extra chance of getting success. This test is a 2. So we're going to get 2 successes, but we've already got 1 automatic success. So all we need to do with these 3 dice is get 1 success, and we will have prayed to the wild gods to help us. Oh my word. And that is, if you like a crit, that's 6 successes on 3 dice. So we place this up to the prayer track to show us that we are going to benefit from this, but only wild characters will benefit from this. But please note, what's quite important is number 1, Bergen, Inglewood, and Geralt are all wild in terms of their beliefs. So they will all be able to benefit from that perception test, which is really cool. She's now done, so it makes sense to try and find out what this saga token is as her second action. So here, with the highest perception out of all the characters, I forgot to refresh my cubes to show that they haven't been. It makes sense to try and reveal this saga token, because once you enter into an area that contains a visible saga token, you resolve that immediately by looking at the bookmark. So 4 dice, we need 2 successes, but because she's wild, the tree symbol, the forest symbol, will count as successes. She's also got support from Geralt. So we've got 4. 1, 2, 3 plus the tree is 4. That's absolutely plenty. This was actually a bit of a harder test. This was a 3 difficulty test. So what we do is we flip this token and we can see it's an E. So we've got to try and move into that token as well. Just rotating these so we can actually see them in the right orientation. Okay, that is Inglewood. A fantastic, much better than last round. That was a fantastic turn. So, how do we get into this area? You have to spend 2 movement points. Let's read our first story. So, I'm going to use the Madman next, which is going to literally use a move action, and it has an agility of 2, so it can move 2 spaces. And we've entered into this hex, so we read E. We go over to the bookmark, and we see that E is passage 41. So we go back over to the songbook, and we read, 1 second, and we read 40, whoops, I said say 41, didn't I? I believe so. I better just check that. I've lost. E was 41. E is 41. So, now you start to read. Something glittered in the distance. In the distance, attracts your attention, and you decide to take a closer look at this strange phenomenon. When you get there, you realize that your curiosity has been aroused by a reflection of light on something metal, a sort of grotesque totem pole, consisting of Viking helmets lashed to a pole, has been erected on a mound of snow. The despicable talisman seems to defy you, to stare at you. Furiously, you grasp the pole with both hands and tear it out. Then your anger fades and gives way to surprise, for in your hands is a beautifully crafted Viking javelin. Stripped of those cumbersome decorations, this perfectly balanced projectile is capable of impaling an enemy at close range. As you continue on your way, you notice a scarlet stain on the very spot where the javelin was planted. It only takes a few moments, to clear away the area and reveal the body of a member of the previous expedition. This macabre discovery shakes you deeply, for you had had hopes of finding your Viking brothers and sisters, not in the best of shape, certainly, but alive at least. This leads to a disturbing and repulsive hypothesis. The still fresh blood of the unfortunate man indicates that he was killed recently, and certainly with this javelin, a weapon belonging to your clan. So we have found evidence of our brethren that had came with King Haakon, and a bit of a disturbing discovery here, where this weapon, which has been to kill this body that we found, this weapon was used to do it, and this weapon belongs to us. So we pick up trophy card number 1. We move the objective, find your clan forward 1 space, and we perform a test. Because it's quite harrowing to see this. Fortunately, the person doing it is the best person on Will, so that's handy. So let's go and get the trophy card number 1 first and see what that is. So down over here we've got our artifacts, which are trophy cards, and there's number 1. Here's our javelin. It's going to enable shoot 1 with +1 to Valiance. That goes to the person who discovered it, which was the Madman Gerulf. And as a free action, if you're on the same hex as another character, you can just trade weapons. So that's always good. So the other 2 things we had to do is move our objective, find a clan forward 1 space, because we've now found some evidence, and then perform this will test of a difficulty 2. So let's move this objective forward 1 space. Go back over to our dice. We've got a will of 4 for Gerulf. No support though, so we need 2 successes. And we do not get it. We do not get those 2 successes, unfortunately. What a disaster. So it says, if you fail, lose 1 morale. So from our board, we will be taking 1 of our 8 morale that we have, and that comes off the board. Remember, if we ever go to 0 morale, we've succumbed to our fears, and we lose the scenario. And you would have to replay it. Okay. But that was his first action. Geralt's second action will be to do a perception test against this threat. If a hex does not have this symbol, it means you can just do it's a difficulty 2, effectively, in terms of its perception test. So with a perception of 3, let's see, remember, he is wild, so tree symbols will count. And we're trying to get 2 successes. There's our 2 successes. So we are successful at last at a perception test. If you're successful, what you do is you flip the token. Here we go. We've got only one enemy. So what the first thing we do, because there is an enemy revealed, is linked to the same type of token. We flip the hostile card, and we can see it's a vermin with 2 attack, 1 defense, and 1 movement. But it's also got a story trigger, 33. So let's go and read that now. In the bushes, a constant rustling. So they really are men, or at least living examples of the most grotesque idol. Gesticulating in a pagan dance resembling martial training, they advance, spears and lances in hand, their faces hidden by masks with terrifying expressions. Muffled crackles get louder, and a malevolent glint pierces through the lifeless eyes of the wooden faces they wear. So this is basically just describing what this threat actually is. So you will read those on. You've got to be a little bit careful not to read any other parts of the storybook, as with most of these storybook narrative games. For example, like Awakened Realms, Tainted Grail. It's a very similar idea. Right, okay. So that's now been revealed. So we need to get the miniature, the figurine, the correct figurine, which will go here. And this is what was described. It's kind of like imp type character with a skull, armor, but very, very weakly armored in general, and only 1 defense, remember. And that is now Gerulf done. So we still have 2 characters, including Bergen. This is the last. We got a threat up here, and we got this guy here. So it kind of makes sense to send Bergen just to shoot this guy. I think shoot will be... but although saying that, if I do a shoot test, I do not get the additional dice, and I do not get the additional ability. but it's 5 dice to get 1 result. And what I'm thinking here, if I can take out the hostile, what I can do is then just move straight to this story icon here and then start progressing the story. Remember, we've only got 7 rounds to do this. So I think I will do the shoot action because my rolling's been so good. So we go with our Valiant and we're able to shoot from an adjacent area. So it's just based on literally this roll. I have to get 1 success because the threat has now changed to an attackable hostile with a 1 defense. So very weak, to be fair. Okay, let's have a go. So we need one result. Oh my word. So we just about, wow, we just about succeed. Not a great roll again, but it's fine. And there's only one of those characters there. So that is destroyed. Fantastic. We now know what those threats are. So we now know that these are vermin. Next, a second action for Bergen will be to move 2. And she's going to move to story or saga token A, which will be 150 in the storybook. An open grave composed of a heap of decomposing flesh and guts lies before you. Lovely. The stench given off by this foul mass is truly unbearable and makes you heave. Who is responsible for this horror? You summon up your courage to investigate. Maybe with a little luck, you will find something useful. So I have a choice. I can either search the corpse with my hands or probe the corpses with a tree branch. I think searching with a tree branch makes a little bit more sense, right? So I'm going to choose 240. And how I would do this with the physical copy, or even if you're playing with more than one player, is get another player to read this stuff other than the current player because of options, and they won't be able to read ahead and see ahead. With your stick, you remove a piece of blue cloth, a die used by the members of King Hakon's guard. Underneath, something else is floating on top of the crawling mass. Interesting. Draw 1 item, remains, and move the objective marker, find your clan. 1 stays forward. Awesome. So let's move this forward 1. So we are hitting our objective, which was the important thing. And then we got a deck of remains, random remains. And we're going to draw one of the... what did it say? I think it said draw one of those. Yeah. So let's see what we got. So Bergen has found a broken shield. This shows that it can only be used in melee. And it tells me I can do dodge. Now, in the rulebook is a list of keywords and what they do. But I know for a fact that if I go back over to the characters, Hemming has got dodge. And it says, when you perform a defense test, each of the forest symbols equals a success. So I will remember that for next time. So she attacked and then she moved. So Bergen is done, leaving Dring to be the only character. And there is a threat here. And you know what? This could be... his perception is horrendous. So I think we just need to push on. So rather than potentially get taken out by literally just the ambush effect, if I just run in there, I don't think that's wise. So Dreng is going to move 2, and then he's going to try and heal himself, because it worked so well last time. And this time he gets a success. So we take away a wound. That's better. Okay, that's the player phase over. So now we move over to the hostile phase. So 1 more threat. And it's got a movement of 1. So it's going to move to here to get to the closest character, which is going to be Bergen again. But Bergen is very good in defense. And now, oh no, that's only in melee. So she will not be able to benefit from dodge. However, she is in a cover area. So, again, we got 4 defense with protection, takes it up to 5. They attack. Now, threats attack with 3. The vermin hostiles attack with 2. And they also are in melee. So we get our 3, and we block it completely. Fantastic. Bergen is definitely one keen one to be the target. She was also, if you remember from our fate card, she was going to be the target for all attacks anyway. Okay, so we've done the enemy phase. And now we move on to the spawn, which is a lesser onto A again. So let's go and grab one of those tokens and spawn it onto A. So they're starting to come a little bit thick and fast, but still not horrendously bad. And then our end effect is loser morale. So we're down to 6 morale now, which is not great, which is really not great. Let's refresh our characters so we know that we can effectively heal up. Now, this is a trophy, so I believe this will stay with you throughout the campaign. This one here is remains. Now, I have a feeling that remains are kind of items that you'd use for literally that scenario. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I need to look into that. No problem. I was demoing this for Mythic Games in Essen Spiel, the virtual con, over the weekend, and I just loved it. I loved this game so much, and you know, we had some people demoing, which was nice, but there wasn't tons and tons of traffic, so I thought I'll chuck it up onto my I'll do it as a live playthrough, as a live stream, which means you can watch it now, but this will be saved, so anyone can watch this at a later date. Just going to the YouTube channel and checking it out whenever they want. Obviously, it'll be a bit of a spoiler in terms of what goes on in the expedition, what goes on in the camp. But anyone can get this Tabletop Simulator mod. But if you don't have Tabletop Simulator, it's a good way to kind of see what this what the game's like. Okay, so we'll start a round. So let's move the token forward first. I should really put it this orientation so you can see what I'm doing. Which is going to trigger another story event. And one of the strengths of this game is how narrative it is. I absolutely love the fact it's a very much a narrative-driven game. 2:45. Let's go and see what's happening in turn 3. Let's get the music going. A rustle followed by a dry, steady clacking sound makes you turn your head towards a rock overlooking the trail. A scruffy midget painfully climbs to the top and peers up at you through the black orbits of the skull that serves as his mask. Then he starts drumming the rock with what was once a shin. The blows resonate through the forest, and soon there are screams coming from all over to answer him. He's just ordered the assault, and you are the target. Reveal hostile card number 3 and place the scarecrow in the indicated area. Also place totem C where indicated. Right, so a couple of things we need to do. Number 1, let's see what this hostile is. It's the scarecrow. It has no attack. It has 4 defense and no movement. Basically, it's going to start bringing out reinforcements. And not just your lesser threat. These are going to be new threats, stronger effects. So as long as he's in play in the phase or hostile phase, he will spawn these threats. He's also a predator, which means that you can't use your familiars to attack him. Right, let's grab this figure. Absolutely awesome it is. And this is going on top of this hill. Which brings me to talk about this symbol means you cannot walk through it. You cannot shoot through it. So you cannot engage the scarecrow through melee attacks. Really important. Which is a bit of a nightmare. But we did find the javelin, remember. So we could give Dreng the javelin, which would be hilarious. Okay, and also we need to put Totem C in the area where I think the Madman is. So let's find Totem C, which is a spawn point, of course. And that's going to go here. So we're going to start to get more threats coming through. But before we do anything else, Dreng needs to decide who is going to go first. Now, the good news is Dreng is not far from being able to shoot, and neither is Bergen. So I think that is the definite play. So with that in mind, we need to send the Madman into Dreng's Hex to offload this javelin. So that's going to be the play. It will be Geralf first. Now we move on to our fate and see what happens next. Caught from behind. Doesn't sound good. Ever since you entered this forest, your progress has been slow and it allows those who are watching you to track you. The scout must place the following threat in the starting area if it's empty. Else place it in an area adjacent to that starting area. And it's a higher threat. We still get 2 actions, which is good. we are going to lose morale, and we're going to spawn a lesser threat. So the medium threat, or the greater threat, which is the one in the middle here, that's got a movement of 2. No attack, but it does trap. Okay? And I'll have to look what trap does. So let's go and grab one of those and put it in the starting area. Over here. Trap. Let me get to somewhere around about here. A little bit before. And the trap's there. Hero finds himself in an ambush situation where this hostile receives an additional wound on top of the wounds from the ambush. Right, okay. Okay, that's it. So it's over to Geralf. So I think... Yeah, we have to do this. He's going to move 1 to get into the same hex. Offload for 3. So it's a free action to offload items. So now Dreng can shoot with a +1. So effectively, if he's on his own, he'll be shooting with 8 dice. But at least 7. Yeah, we got some fantastic stuff that he can do. He's a proper... So he's kind of just lobbing the javelin at people. But we can keep the item. We don't think we lose it, which is cool. What else should we do? We could try and heal Dreng. Yeah, I think Geralt will try and heal Dreng. He's not a specialized healer, so we hope for no blank. But let's have a look and see what we get. Awesome. So we heal Dreng for another wound because he's going to be up in the fray, and we don't particularly want him to be killed. Okay. So now we've got this through. We now move on to the next character, which I think will be move and attack. Now the Scarecrow, does it have multiple hit points? No, it doesn't. It's got 4 defense. So I think we're just going to send Dreng next. He's going to move up to B. And first of all, we need to read what B is before we take our second action. So B, look at the bookmark. 54. Let's see what is happening in 54. The path leads between 2 rocks and becomes steeper. You can make out the top of the hill, beyond which stands the tower that you saw from the boat, even though you will have to negotiate an outcrop of rocks by helping each other to get across. Your destination seems very close now. This thought gives you the courage to press on and climb the last bit of ground that separates you from your destination. But your resolve disappears when you hear grunts. 2 sinister-looking savages emerge from the forest and race down the slope towards you, whirling their clubs about the head. Add the corresponding tiles to the game board. Place Saga token G. Place 2 sluggers, reveal the hostile card, and move token C to the indicated area. Oh, wow. So this has all happened. So first of all, we need to extend the map, which is really cool because it's kind of like what do you call it? A fog of war type thing. So we'll just load this in and place it down. Then we grab totem C, and that goes over to here. We get 2 slugger miniatures. And they go here. Woo! And I've got to show you these miniatures. So they're quite brutish. Awesome. And we reveal their hostile card. So we flip this. And you see we've got 3 attack, 3 defense, 1 movement, and ferocity, which means after they've done a melee attack, they do an additional melee attack. Very brutal. We got to read page or number 190. A huge thud reverberates through the pines. From the cloud of snow raised by the violent fall emerges a behemoth of a creature. Its groans reflect the inordinate effort it must make to carry its own weight. The steam of its raucous breath escapes from the narrow nostrils of the skull which serve as its helmet. So, men come from the sky in these distant lands. Do they live in the trees? This primeval colossus advances, lifting a weapon made of carved bones, the same as those that litter the forest floor. The trees are graves, and he is the grave digger, along with the scarecrow, of course. So, yeah, we've got some more options open now. We also need to put Saga G over here, which is where we saw the kind of the objective of this scenario. We're trying to get to this this tower, this symbol of our previous ancestors. Right, I still think Scarecrow is the most important one to take out, or else this is going to be real problematic by him spawning more of these guys. But we've got extra action. So first of all, he's going to use his shoot 1 with +1, which takes this to 7. But he is alone, so he's going to get 8 dice. I'm going to be able to do Rage as well, which is a free action, and attack the others with Frenzy. So Dren could literally take out all those enemies if it's good roll. So let's roll our 8 dice first of all. That's 6, which is absolutely crazy. But he is the renowned warrior berserker, the Viking Norse berserker Dreng. So they have the Scarecrow has a defense of 4, so we're looking for 4 results. Oh wow! And I think we failed, which is pretty shocking. On 8 dice, it's 50-50. So the odds are it's literally half odds that I would have succeeded or failed. Well, no, it's more than that because there's a 2. So yeah, that was a disappointing roll. There's nothing I can do. I can't re-roll or anything like that. I literally just miss. So now I'm going to do the Rage attack, which is a free action. And we're going to try that again. And fingers crossed we will get the 4 this time. That's really disappointing. That's even worse. So the rolls are not going well for me at the moment. I mean, this would be quite handy if I had prayed to the Norse god. But ultimately, he fails again. I think now is a good time to use a +1 action. In fact, I might just use them both. Come on, I can do this. Surely. Come on, Dreng. 4 needed. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 7. We managed to take out the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow has been defeated. Thank the Lord. Thank the Norse lords for that, because that would have been very brutal. Now, I think we're going to carry on. And let me just check if Frenzy is in melee. No. When a hero eliminates a hostile, you can allocate any additional ones to nearby hostiles. I do have to take a wound, however, because of my my rage effect that I did before. So let's do another 8 dice attack against this area. They have a defense of 3. So what we're looking for, if we can get 6, we have taken both out. We unfortunately don't get the 6, but we certainly get the 3. So we take out one of these hostiles. Not bad, Dreng. Not bad at all. And that'll do. We'll finish Dreng there, and Bergen can try and mop up the rest. So Bergen's going to go next. Now the question is, I think we need to get into melee. That'll make her much better. She will not suffer a ambush because ultimately she's not she's not going into a threat. It's going into a hostile. Is that the best thing to do? Yeah, let's go into melee and just keep things moving, I think. So she's going to do a movement action first, and now she's going to do an attack. So she attacks normally with 5, but because she's doing a melee attack, she attacks with an extra 1, so that's 6. And she also grants this ability as well. So 6 dice. She's looking for 3 attack. Oh, sorry, and also, sorry, I completely forgot. Dreng got 4 successes, which is 1 over, and because of Frenzy, he can allocate the successes to a hostile. So actually, this hostile has taken 1 wound already. So we've got to take down No, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? No, ignore what I just said. He's not got multiple hit points. So we've just got to get basically 3. We've got to get 3 results with these 6 dice. A wild symbol, which is this kind of snake eating its own tail, is what we want to explode at an extra dice. Oh wow, that's big. Bergen easily vanquishes the threat. And we've cleared the threat around that area. That was massive. A really important one. That's her done. And we've got the witch next of all. So she needs to really just keep moving forward, especially away from this threat. The only problem is, actually, this is a bit of a problem. That threat is going to move too and ambush us and put down the threat. There's not much we can do against that. The Madman is there on his lonesome. Where was the witch? She was here. So I could either just move to here, but then she might get ambushed. No, I'll put her in here. They can lend each other support. And let's heal. Let's heal while we're there. So first of all, let's see what the target is before we decide. It's the one with the most valiance, which I believe, yes, is definitely the Madman. So her second action will be to heal, and she's going to try and heal Geralt. Now, she is a healer, so a blank result does not do an additional wound. That doesn't do anything, so the heal action failed. That's us done. So now we go to what's going to be a very eventful enemy phase. So first of all, we start with the strongest threat tokens, and they move first. Moving 2 to the closest enemy, which is going to be to there. Then it's got trap. So when it's going to target the Madman with this ambush. Boom, 1. That was lucky. Only one of these characters pop up. But because of trap, that's going to do 2 damage or 2 wounds to Geralt. Wish I had actually healed. That would have really helped. So we're going to put 1 wound onto here. And then we need to just flip one of these. Let's get rid of shoot 1 as the ability. Geralt has 1 hit point remaining. Not good. Also, while we're engaged, we have to spend if we move out, we get attacked. Which wouldn't be very good. I believe that's how it works. I'm going to check the rule book for that. Anyway, the lesser threats. This one will move to here first. And then this one's going to give a bonus to this one against Dreng. So how this works is normally a threat token would attack 3. But because there's an additional of the same type, it's now a 4 attack going against Dreng. Dreng has not got any double wounds, so he's just rolling 2 dice against 4. He's not in cover either, so he doesn't benefit from anything else. So it's literally just the successes, which is none. So he's taking 4 wounds. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is the perfect number to literally take him out. And he has been knocked out. So it can be brutal, this game. What will now need to happen is on his next activation, he needs to spend his turn, or his activation, literally just healing 1 wound and standing back up. He can't do anything else. Not great. Not great at all. But that's all the threats done and all the enemies. So now we move on to the end phase. First of all, we need to spawn a lesser threat into A again. So that seems to be happening a lot. And then in the end phase itself, I believe we take 1 morale, leaving us with 5 morale remaining. We've got plenty of food. So maybe start to use my familiars might be the play forward here. Okay. So that's the end of the round. So we move the tracker on for the start of round 4. We go over to our characters, and who wants to go first? Wow. Let's have a little look what we've got here. We could send the owl. No, that's pointless because they're not lesser threats. Although that could be quite handy. If I send the owl to over here, it basically stops these from moving or attacking. And this threat here will probably move this way anyway. Now I do need to read about whether we can just move out of out of an area that contains a hostile. So I don't know is the answer. If we can, we're just going to run away. The big hostile only has a movement of 1. So this is obviously quite a first edition of the rulebook. So it's not... actually, this is what I wanted to see as well. I'm just wondering if it's a 1-type unit. Can own 2 items at the same time. No, you can use it as many times as you want, unless it says. So that's good. So this tells you about the different parts of the board. But we want actions where we talk about... actually, it might be in hostiles. Vitality, prey. So, sorry about this. I just need to... Tells you how to set up the board. Assign heroes. Here we go. We got event phase, hero phase. Hero activation. Move. Page 31. Just looking to see. It's not a threat. Here we go. They may only move... here we go. If they're engaged, the hero may only move 1 area regardless of how many movement points they've got. That's not good. That's really not good for us. So I think Dreng's got to... Dreng can't do anything. I think Bergen's got to backtrack. Which is disappointing. But she's got the chance to take out... with a shoot ability of taking out this guy. Or else we're going to be in a real dire situation. So I think Bergen goes first. Dreng's obviously only going to just stand up, and that's it. So let's move the scout to Bergen. It's not looking great now, I've got to be honest. It does depend on what the fate is. Will we get a positive fate? Who knows? It doesn't look like it. A trap. The boldest among you. Hang on. The boldest among you regrets his fearlessness when he starts to slither down an embankment. At the last moment, he realizes that he risks ending up on a series of sharp spikes, barely covered with branches. The scout performs the following test. She's not engaged, so fortunately it's only a 2 difficulty with agility though. We suffer a wound if we fail. So it's a difficulty of 2 and it's an agility test. Bergen's agility is 2. So she's rolling 2 dice to get 2 successes. If she fails, she takes a wound. And she does fail, she takes a wound. That's not great. Could be far worse, I suppose. Get rid of protection. I need the shoot. We each get 2 actions. We're going to lose morale, and we're going to spawn on the lower. The good news is the scarecrow is not out. We've got to take a bit of light into that. Now, these 2 are going to be hounded by this threat, so it is very important that we do take out that threat. So with that in mind, it's annoying to do this. She's going to move back. Now, obviously, we've got some threats going on here, but I'm definitely going to be sending out the owl to stop them from moving. She's going to do a shoot 1. It's only a 5 dice attack, but 5 dice to do 3 damage should be okay. He says, but we will soon find out. This is clutch. This is so important. This roll. We need 3 successes. Oh no! Hang on. Has she got support? No. No, she's not got support. Perhaps I should have moved. Oh dear. This has turned into a bit of a disaster. I think it's important. Let's use the +1. Oh, this is brutal. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's a disaster. It's even worse. And I don't get fierce because I'm not in melee. Wow. Well, she's done. On the positive side, I don't know. Will she? Yes, she will be attacked rather than the weaker one. So, I mean, she's got how many hit points has she got? 1, 2, 3, 4. She's got 4 hit points, so remaining. Right. So, with all of that in mind, let's send. Let's go for Ingleworld next. Oh, it's disappointing. She's going to move to. She's going to move to Dreng's area. You know what? It was looking pretty dire. I'm not going to bother with this one. It's gonna make it for really hard work. I'm gonna make my way to where we're supposed to be going. We're running out of turns and everything else. So she's gonna move to there. Then I'm gonna spend literally a morale and a food, which sounds really high cost, but you'll see how strong the owl is in a minute. So we're down to 4 morale. We'll be down to 3 at the end of this turn. But the owl comes out. She goes to here, and it says. Hostiles and threats cannot move or perform ranged attacks, which is massive. But we still get to search with a 3 dice perception test. But we do have to get 3 successes. Let's give it a go. Nope. Does not succeed. But the owl is in that area now, which was the whole point of doing that. With Inglewood done. I mean, what she could do, if we had a +1 action, which we don't have, but if we had an extra action, she could have healed Dreng, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Right, Dreng will just heal 1 wound. He will heal Frenzy. So he's back up. He's no longer knocked out. But that's all he can do. And then Geralf will... I've completely ruined that because she couldn't go there, could she? Because she was engaged. So she can only move 1. So they can only all move to that. She can still deploy the owl. So everything she did was legal. Let's try and heal. Let's try and heal himself. He might in a twist of fate here. I don't know if this is the best idea. This is not a good idea. And the reason why I'm saying it's not a good idea, I could literally rub salt on my wounds and knock myself out, which would be a disaster, because that's yet another wasted turn with one of my characters. Okay, that's my turn done. It's pretty terrible. So hostiles will go first. These can't do anything. This will move to the nearest one, which will have to come to this area. So this is now adding a bonus of +2 to the attack, if it gets to do it. Fortunately, my owl is stopping that from happening for this round only. So I think it might be a good tactic to just leg it now. We will soon think about that and see. That's the end of the phase. We spawn in A, so let's grab another lesser threat and put that into A. We retrieve our familiars. We lose 1 morale. So we're down to 3. Now I need to check something now. If we have a little look on here, it says if we have less than 3 morale. So we have 3, so we're still okay. We don't have to read that paragraph. But we do move on to round 5. And we go back to Dreng. Dreng, who will be first player? We need to... Oh, sorry, I know. What am I talking about? Before we do any of that, this has to move into our area. And it will attack Bergen, as I said before, because she has the most... if we have a look at his card, she has the most valiance. So he's attacking with 3. So she's good in defense, and she's got support. So at least there's that. In defense, she rolls 4 plus 1 is 5. She has dodge, which count tree symbols to successes. So we're looking pretty good in defense, but we'll soon find out. So we're trying to block 3. Well, thank God we've got dodge, because those count as successes. So our shield has saved us this time, and we take no wounds. Awesome. I could re-roll because of support, but I don't need to. Okay, that is now the end of all that round. First player will be Bergen to take out this threat and get moving. I think that's definitely the play. We may have to send the owl out again and just suffer whatever consequences might happen. I think that is our only play. So, Bergen being the can it please be good? Yes! A positive threat of fate card. A soothing light. For the first time since you arrived, the sun breaks through the veil of grey cloud that weighs down on you. Its rays seem to light up your location. Perhaps it is time to pause and have a rest. You certainly need one. Gain 2 morale. Wow, that couldn't have happened better. There is a negative part to this. We are stopping and resting, so we only have 1 action each. But we can spend morale to get an additional action. Hostiles will spawn in B, and there's no end effect. So we're not going to lose a morale through our end effect either. So some pretty good stuff going on. Okay, let's recover everyone and think about what's going to happen next. Okay, so Bergen's going to go first, and he's going to try and take out this hostile. So that's going to be 5 plus combat 6 with an exploding dice potential happening as well, and support as well. So lots of stuff helping to defeat this guy. Please defeat this guy. So we need 3 successes. We got that, which... Whoa, stop. That was that a 1, I think, wasn't it? This is an exploding dice, so we're going to roll this 1 dice. Sorry. Yeah, we roll this dice. Just try and get more successes. We did another success. Then we have support. This was not a success. So we roll this. We have to get... oh, lovely. And we managed to get the final support. So Ingewell was lending support to take out that hostile, which we managed to do successfully. Thank God. I think we need to start moving towards this area. So with that in mind, I am going to spend a morale to move, and she is going to move over to here. She's done. Next will be Dreng. Next will be Dreng. And I'm literally going to just leg everyone over to that area and use the owl to stop the threats from advancing onto me. When you move from being engaged, you lose a wound and a morale. Oh, you're kidding me. Thank you, Andrew. Oh, wow. I didn't oh, my word, you do. Okay. That's not good. Oh, that's ruined everything. Obviously, I can take one on the witch, but I could not take one on the madman. Okay, with that in mind, we will... also, what I also didn't do, when Dreng... I've done a few things wrong on this particular one. When someone gets knocked down, you lose a morale. So Dreng lost a morale, but so did the madman. That means we have 2 morale left. I think I would have lost the scenario at that point because I didn't have that fate card open to us. And with all of that in mind, I will not spend a morale to get an extra action with Bergen to move her over there. She will stay put. That hasn't quite worked the right way, so thank you. Yeah, we definitely moved to sub 3, 100%. So let's read this paragraph. It would have happened before 160. Before we got to the start of this round. So it's looking very dire for us. Beware, your greatest strength is the cohesion and morale strength that has kept you alive so far. If you give up now, failure is waiting for you. So just a few things to point out there. You lose a morale, and oh yeah, I've lost the scenario because I take a wound, but I also take a morale. So, would I had? Yeah, I would have lost the scenario. I would have definitely lost the scenario because I only picked up this morale from this card. So yeah, 0 morale. And let's read that. So 0 morale, which is this one here, is 299 for the expedition. Oh, what a shame. Thanks, Andrew. I forgot what I was saying there. What is it? 199. 299. 299. And to be honest, the expedition scenario is much harder compared to scenario 2. Your assailants' shrill cries roar around you, like the waters of treacherous whirlpool. There is a whistling sound as a spear, decorated with toothless skulls, cuts through the mist and pierces the shoulder of one of your companions. From the abyss, the sound of sneering and grunting gets louder and louder. You lie helpless and bleeding, listening to the sharp thud of their withered hands on the tanned skins of their war drums. It is too late now. The top of the hill is too far away, and you are besieged on all sides. Your eyelids close, and you let darkness gently take the place of that evil light. In this half-sleep, where you feel your body rolling and crashing on the rocky ground, your mind is overcome with horror. A woman with her eyes gouged out, a white crow flying upside down, a wave crashing over you. The cold foam runs down your face. Before you completely awaken from this tumultuous sleep, whispered rumours sound in your ears. Ikya, Burvan, Eiflana. Loop, curse, eternity. You failed. Read number 2. Oh. After the storms we've endured, the morale of the crew is at its lowest point. We are woken by the sharp creaking of the mast. Painfully, we get to our feet and look overboard. The shape that emerges on the horizon escapes no one. Is it a hallucination? This massive spiny neck, surmounted by a dragon's head, the prow of a King Hakon's Drakor, hoisted on top of a wooden tower, seems to be challenge us once again. But we are not giving up hope. One of us puts his horn to his lips and to announce arrival, but he changes his mind, hesitating, as if he knows, as if he too had dreamt that sinister premonition. Soon we must deal with a small rocky shoreline which looks familiar. A path stretches out in front of us, tracing irregular curves around the silent coastline. It's shrouded in a mist that dogs our every step. We must be very wary if we are to reach the tower at the top of this wave-lashed hillside. There are many who are injured, so we choose those who are best able to climb the path to get to help from our brothers. So it's kind of like a premonition. That's how they play that. So we're going to play that scenario again. Not now, but we would play this scenario again. And but with a few different things. Read setup as indicated in the previous paragraph. So that's basically the same setup. Do not place threat tokens on the totem areas. So it's basically going to make it easier. So to try and enable us to actually complete it. Shift each of the saga tokens placed on the turn track by 1, each square to the right, which is awesome. Don't read the introduction, because obviously that's not taking effect. This is our introduction, 002. So what you would do here is you would reset the board. You would effectively you would take this away. You kind of know what's going to happen as well, so that's going to give you an advantage. You can also choose different characters. The threat tokens don't exist on this board. So that's nice. And then when it said put the threat tokens, it was... Oh, I can't remember which one was there now. I think it was E. E was on 3, so that goes to 4. And also, D goes to 8. That means we now have 8 rounds to complete it. So it enables you to really have a good go at completing the scenario, which will be really quite helpful. So it was a loss, my first live stream play, which is a real shame. To be honest, maybe 2 support characters, because we saw with this the ability to get these. We do not grab our items. We don't carry them forward to this one. It's like we're starting from afresh, but we do know that certain ones, I can't actually remember, I think it was... whoops. I think it was this. You know what? I completely forget. It'd be easier for me to just reset the mod on Tabletopia, to be honest, than than to do that. So yeah, that's how the Last Saga. Unfortunately, we failed in this particular case, but it really sets you up to really want to go for it again, and just try and complete this. Also, I kind of want to know what's behind this Saga token as well, and possibly with the extra round. There's no threats on the board to start with. I've got the time to be able to go and have a look at that. So that's kind of how that plays. So we'll just remove all of these. In fact, I won't bother. No, I will do. I will do. Having Bergen soaking up all the damage was really a really good tactic, but ultimately we just had too much threats coming down on us. We're very unlucky with some rolls to start the game with, so we weren't revealing a lot. So that was a bit of disappointment. Okay, so let's set everything up ready to go for next time, and then I will inevitably live stream this again to try and complete this scenario. So let's go back and just make sure we've got this. A, B, E, F. Okay, so I've got that wrong. That was C. I got it. So that was E. That was A. That was B. I think that's right. That's better. C goes on turn 4. And that was when I remember. So you remember lots of things from your premonition, which is basically your playthrough that you failed. This triggers the Scarecrow. So I know that at round 4 we got the Scarecrow. So if we can certainly find this out and hopefully find this one out by turn 4, we're looking pretty good shape, because then we can start to move up towards this area, attack the Scarecrow and those hostiles like we did before, and we should be in a lot better position than what we just were. I'm just going to do that so they're shuffled up a little bit. Oh, that really didn't work at all. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just put these over there, and I'll just use these tokens here. Okay, so the board is reset. We have to put this back to 0. This back to 0. I think we had 4 food in total and 9 morale. Let's have a little look. I think it's on the next page. Nope. Where is it? So this tells you what ones to have. Here we go. 4 food, 8 morale, and 3 +1 actions. 8 morale, so there's 1 there. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Whoops. 7. And 8. So fingers crossed, we'll have a bit of a better chance this time. We also have not got this belief. And although we know what they are, we still flip their cards. So everything kind of gets reset, as it were, back to normal. So we now play through this scenario once again, but knowing a bit of extra information. It is slightly easier. We do not have the 2 threats on the board to start with, so we can almost ignore them and go straight for the Saga tokens. To be completely honest, I don't think I'm even going to pray to the gods. I think I'm literally going to just start legging it over here. We can search from over there. We can send someone over to here to search this one. We can send someone into this one just to resolve it. I can't actually remember what A was. Was that the javelin? I can't remember. This is the javelin. No, I can't remember. Remember, B reveals the next board and those 2 grunts, so we need to be mindful of that. So yeah, so we know some information, which will be really handy. In fact, what time is it? So we've been, before I say that, I think we've been going for just under an hour. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to crack on. So I'm going to crack on and try and complete the scenario. If I fail this one this time, I'll be very, very disappointed. And yeah, I don't deserve to win. So let's send Inglewood to move over to here and reveal this story token. As first player, we put these cards back onto the deck, give it a shuffle. We're on turn 1 and we've decided our first player. So let's move on to the first fate card. What have we got? Oh, this is perfect. Attack. So this is the attack. Small cries at first distance. I will read out all the flavor text, even though it's the same thing again. But I think, you know, it is a narrative game. Small cries at first distancing scattered suddenly turn into a roar uttered in unison. It is accompanied by the sounds of trampling feet and broken branches coming closer. Whatever the threat is rushing towards you, brace yourselves. Now there is no threat, so we have no. We play a hostile phase, but there are no hostiles to worry about there. The only thing we do need to do is spawn one onto A. So let's spawn a threat onto A. So I mean that is a bit of a disadvantage, but never mind. Okay, that's the hostile phase done, or the first hostile phase done. So let's send our witch over to here as first action, and she's going to try and accomplish this. Hang on, wait. I've done this wrong, haven't I? Again, need to think about these. The reason why I'm saying I've done this wrong is because I could have done with the Madman support. To help me reroll a dice. I mean, I have got a perception of 4. We'll go for it. We need to get 3 successes. Let's give it a go. Nope. There we go. So already done a misstep already. Fantastic. Okay, she's done. Let's go with the next best perception, which will be our friend the Madman, who's rolling 3 dice, but with support from Inglewood. Ah, that's what we're talking about. He has uncovered this saga token. Superb. That's exactly what we wanted. This threat I'm not worried about because it cannot go onto this rock space, so it will not be able to attack me this round, which is quite handy. Anyway, that is the Madman done. We'll move both of these to the same area. I think 3. No, there's no point. There's no point spending the food at the moment because it's only got a perception of 2, which isn't great. Although it would get rid of the threat. Yeah, right. She has got an action to burn. So she's going to spend an action to deploy the bear cub onto this space here. It's going to cost her food. We have got 4 food, so I'm not really too fussed. Oh, I know what I've forgotten to do. Whoops. Yeah. Okay. With that in mind, I will not deploy the bear. We will just move Bergen to here, and we will hunt for a survival of 3. Let's see how much we get. We get 2, so we get 2 more food, which takes us up to 5, I think. Up to 6, and she's done. And the bear is not there. Then finally Dreng has just moved, and that will do him. Does he want to try and heal? No. No, not a good idea for Dreng to try and heal. So this threat will move 1 and attack the closest. So he's going to move to here and attack Bergen. But we know that Bergen's really good in defense. And she's also in a cover. So she's rolling 5 defense for 4 for her defense plus the 1 for protection. And she counts trees as successes. This is 3 difficulty. So she gets 4. Absolutely fine. We also need to remove this quarry token. Okay. I think it was certainly going to be easier anyway, isn't it? Right, so we'll move to the spawn phase. So it's 1 into A. We will not lose any morale from the end of that phase. Nice. Let's move forward into round 2. Hopefully we got a better chance of completing this scenario. Okay. Who's going to be the scout this time? I think... I think I'm going to leave Bergen as like a rear guard. So she'll go and collect... No, Dreng needs to collect E. Bergen will go up to A. The witch will move... No, sorry. The madman will move to here. And try and heal, I think. And then the witch will move to here and try and reveal this token. Actually, no, that's silly. I'll just send the witch to here, try and reveal this token. Then the madman can literally just make his way to there. Okay, this all makes sense. So we might be able to hit all 3 of these story icons, which will be pretty massive at the start of his turn. So let's go with... I can't actually remember what A did, which is really bad. So we'll do that last. So let's go with Dreng picking up the javelin. Oh, he can't be first player, can he? Of course he can't. So we actually send the witch as first player. Right. What's happening for us? And our fate. Death from above again. You are so intent on watching out for what has happened around you, you may have forgotten about the danger that can come from above. A crack of branches above your head suddenly reminds you of this, but it may be too late. So the scout must place the following threat in the closest forest or bush adjacent to him, a lesser threat. So the scout is the witch, which is here. So I can put a threat in any of these. Now, if I put it in here, obviously Bergen will get ambushed, so we don't particularly want to do that. However, I think we're going to put a threat into this bush here because it's the one that we're not going into. But that is quite annoying. There are quite a few threats now suddenly on the board. Do we reveal? No, we keep going. 2 actions each at least. Right, so the witch will move 1. And we'll scout this area here for a 2. And her perception is 4. Superb. Easily does it. Let's flip this one. Right. We have revealed all saga tokens. So that is an improvement. She could potentially spend a 3rd action if I spend one of my +1 actions to reveal this threat. I don't think we need to. So that'll do for the witch. Bergen... sorry, the madman is next. And the madman's going to move 2 to here. And resolve F. One that we haven't done yet. So this will be interesting. And which is F? Which passage is F? F is 269. Cawing sounds in the distance advise you to proceed with caution. Taking great care, you arrive near a stream where the body of a deer, pierced by a javelin, lies. 6 enormous crows are already at work feasting on its carcass. Nevertheless, a few choice morsels are still available for you. If only there wasn't the risk of birds attracting attention by flying away all at once. Oh, wow. Gain 2 food and move the closest threat token 1 area towards you. Now this is interesting because this threat token has cowardice. I think it would still come into this area. and ambush, which would not be good. I don't think we need the food, so we'll literally do nothing. It's a little bit disappointing. So a pretty rubbish Saga token in the grand scale of things. Do you want to leave there? We have got shoot 1. We don't really want to do that. We have got perception 3. I'm looking at the cap because I'm worried that this token, if that's got like 3 threat, that's not going to be good. No, I'll leave it as it is. Okay, so that is the Madman done. So we've got Dreng and Bergen. So Dreng will go next. So basically take the brunt of all attacks, I believe. And he's going to move down to... Oh, he can't... was he here? Yes, he can. So he'll move to here and resolve E. We know it's going to be the Javelin. But we'll read it anyway. 41. Something glittering in the distance attracts your attention, and you decide to take a closer look at this strange phenomenon. When you get there, you realise that your curiosity has been aroused by a reflection of light on something metal. A sort of grotesque totem pole consisting of Viking helmets lashed to a pole that has been erected on a mound of snow. This despicable talisman seems to defy you, to stare at you. Furiously, you grasp the pole with both hands and tear it out. Then your anger fades as it gives way to a surprise. For in your hands is a beautifully crafted Viking javelin. Stripped of those cumbersome decorations, this perfectly balanced projectile is capable of impaling an enemy at close range. As you continue on your way, you notice a scarlet stain on the very spot where the javelin was planted. It only takes a few moments to clear the area and reveal the body of a member of the previous expedition. This macabre discovery shakes you deeply, and you had not hopes of finding your Viking brothers and sisters. Not in the best of shape, certainly, but alive at least. This leads to a disturbing and repulsive hypothesis. The still fresh blood of the unfortunate man indicates that he was killed recently, and certainly with his javelin, a weapon belonging to your clan. So we're going to get trophy 1, move the objective, find the clan, move 1 space forward. You didn't have to retract your messages, actually. It's absolutely fine. No, it's important to play it properly. So, we're doing to find one trophy card, and it's a will test. I forgot about that part of it. So we're probably going to get a wound. The good news is the javelin is with Dreng straight away, which is really important. His will is 2, and we need to try and get 2 successes. And we get none. So he takes another wound, which is fine. Okay, and we have moved our forward space 1. Excellent. So he's moved 1 action. His perception's 1. He will do nothing. Actually, we might as well do a perception test. We're rolling 1 dice, and we need to get 6 basically, because we need 2 successes. You never know. You never know. Nope. No success. That's Dreng done. Bergen will move to A. Again, I can't remember what this is, but hey ho. And resolve A, which is 150. Oh, it's the open grave. Oh, yeah. An open grave consisting of a heap of decomposing flesh and guts lies before you. The stench given off by the foul mass is truly unbearable and makes you heave. Who is responsible for this horror? You summon up your courage to investigate. Maybe with a little luck, you will find something useful. So we're going to use the tree branch. I still don't want to do the other one. No, should we do the other one? As we haven't done. We did the tree branch last time. Let's use our hands. That's always a good idea. 170. You plunge your hands into this disgusting heap and quickly realise that this pile of guts is nothing but local gain. We perform a test of survival 2. So let's go to Bergen with survival of 3. So a difficulty of 2. See what we get. And we managed to succeed, so that's good. With horror, you recognize the blue ecru cloth worn by members of King Hakon's guard. The search has not been in vain because you also find the object could be used with you. I'll draw 3 items and then discard one. Keep one and discard the rest. And move the cool. And if we basically failed, we would have suffered a wound. So this is actually really good. So instead of using the stick and just getting the top card from the remains deck, we actually let's put this on. We actually get to draw 3 of them and choose one. Ooh. Okay, so we've got 2 broken swords, which add +1 to their valence in melee. But I am a wild character, so I could use this bone axe, which would convert wild symbols to successes. I don't know what's stronger. An extra dice. Yeah, I think the extra dice is actually stronger, to be honest. Although, that's all of them. No, I'm going to try this. Remember, I can hold up to 2 items. So, Bergen's going to grab this kind of like bone axe, which is pretty cool. Right, awesome. So, that was movement and resolving. She has another action, which I might release the bear cub to have a go at this. Yep, let's do that. So I'm going to deploy the bear cub as my second action, which takes one of the 6 food we've got, and send the bear club down over here away and try and take out this threat that looms against these characters. So 2 dice perception test on 2 successes. Let's give it a go. Yes! Oh, the bear! Reveals 2 miniatures, unfortunately. So perhaps that wasn't the best idea, but we'll keep going. They do become weaker, I believe. Well, I hope so. Not that one. They do become weaker as they when they become hostiles themselves. But what's really cool about this is if we read the ability, they get to attack a hostile, and when he attacks a hostile, reduce the hostile's defense by 1. So now we have a little look, and we can see that their defense, whoops, sorry, we have to reveal the hostile. Their defense is 1. So now their defense is 0. So as long as they get success, they die. I think you still have to get a success to defeat a miniature. So Olaf's attack is 2. So it's going to try and take out one of those miniatures. Gets the success, takes out the miniature, and jobs are good. And now I've only got to shoot 1, so I cannot attack that threat, that hostile, with Bergen if I wanted to use another action. So I believe that is me done. Let's move to the hostile phase. So this one will go this way, this one will go this way, and this threat is no longer going to be shooting. If we have a little look at the card, it attacks with 2, but it's melee now. Attacking the one with the most damage. That's the one they're going to target. So, let's do the threat tokens first. So, we're going to do Bergen first. This one's going to attack for 3. Onto Bergen. That's 5 dice in defense with trees counting as successes. We get the 3. Then this one will attack Dreng. Dreng has 2 defense to defend 3. Oh, you're kidding me. He takes 3 wounds. 1, 2, 3. So he's got one health left. Wow. I'll keep Loner. And I'll take the other 2. just brutal. And then we'll go into the actual threat. The one with the most wounds, which is going to be Dreng. Oh man, this is not good. For 2 damage. This time, for each double wound, I get +1 in my defense. So now I'm rolling 4 defense dice. And I'm trying to block 2. But I have to block both. I managed to. I survive. Whew. Thank God. Okay, so that's cool. That's done. Dreng has been attacked. And then we go to the end phase. We take back our bear. So any familiars that were used. We spawn at B. So a lesser on B. Oh, that's not a good place. We just need to leg it now. And we lose a morale. So we go down to 7. The good news is, though, at the end of this round, we do not read the next story mission. The Scarecrow is not coming now. So we can prepare ourselves, maybe get Inglewood to heal up Dreng. I think it's kind of an essential part. Unfortunately, there's a... it's so annoying. There is a hostile here. So I think the play will be destroy the hostile, move to here with Dreng. I can't have Dreng as the first player. So the Madman will be the scout. Let's go to our fate card. The Frenetic Horde. This is new. The relentless of these accursed creatures is blood-chilling. They rush us, driven by a fierce hatred. Valhalla has never seemed so close. So all hostiles and threats gain +1 attack and +1 defense. Oh dear. Oh, those threat tokens are attacking for 4. Oh, brutal. Brutal game, yeah? So maybe actually taking care of all these hostiles is what we need to do. The Madman. Right. The Madman will move to, and then we'll try and reveal this threat. It's more important to reveal the threat than to take it out. So, yeah, perception 3. Yeah, no, definitely. Now, the good news is... Yep, no, it's literally just trying to get 3, however, on this. And we get 2. So we do not reveal the threat. That's him done. Oh, my word. So we need to heal Dreng. So Dreng needs to go next. And I can't do rage. No, he's going to attack. Now, the good news is he's got 6 Valiance. No, 7 Valiance with the Javelin. So 7 dice against 2 defense now because it's been increased. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. He's on his own as well, so he's going to get an extra dice. 8 of them. But he does need healing quite badly. He's pretty bullish in defense as well now. So we need 2 successes. Oh yeah, I'll do. So we take out this hostile, which gives us a free movement, free to move up to here. That's Dreng done. Which will go next? She will move 1 to here. I do not want to reveal the others yet. And then she will heal Dreng for her second action. Come on, I need this. Yes. So I will keep frenzy at this point. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Bergen's next. She's probably best. We gotta be careful. Attacking. Oh, dearie me. Okay, she's going to spend a food to send Olaf again. And she's going to send him to here. I think that's our best play. We got 2 dice to try and get 2 results for Olaf. Yes! Now, the important thing about that is that these only got a movement of 1. I hope that's right. If I remember right. Yes, they only have a movement of 1 as well. So they're not... at least that threat will not attack. But I might take it out. It's got 2 defense. I have 2 attack with the bear cub. So I need 2 successes. You never know. Yes! Olaf doing his work there. Takes out that character. Fantastic. Great work. Okay, that's all of us gone. I don't think I want to do anything else. So we'll move over to the enemy phase. This will attack into here. This will move and attack into here. Both with an attack of 4. Oof. Attacking the one with the most wounds. It's going to be drang all day long. The good news is, I don't know if when this hero performs. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be able to get 3 dice in defense plus support. Still not great. Still definitely not great. But it is what it is. So the first one, 4 attack. Oh yes, that is the way to Dreng to keep his health. And the second threat, 4 attack. 3. We get to re-roll 1 because of support. Can we get another success? Oh yes, we can. He shrugs off all the attacks, and he's fine. Oh, that was massive. That was massive. Right, let's take those back. Spawn on B. Was it spawn on B? It was spawn on B. Which is fine because we're moving away from that area now. It's constant. It is constant. We lose a morale. We're down to 6. We've seen how bad morale is in terms of going down. We get our bear back. We move the clan the marker onto the C, which we know is going to be Scarecrow on 245. A rustle, followed by a dry, steady clacking sound, makes you turn your head towards a rock overlooking the trail. A scruffy midget painfully climbs to the top and peers up at you through the black orbits of the skull that serves as his mask. Then he starts drumming the rock with what was once a shin. The blows resonate through the forest, and soon there are screams coming from all over to answer him. He's just ordered the assault, and you are the target. So, Totem C, that's right. Okay, Totem C down to there. So let's put Totem C out first while I'm remembering, which is currently on there. And that needs to go to there. We need the Scarecrow onto here. And we need to reveal that. Okay. And did you say move your clan? No, that's it. All right. So we can deal with that next. The problem is we're going to have to go to this area, ideally, because this is difficult terrain. We could... We could reveal this threat, move into here, and go for it this way without revealing B. All I'm trying to think of is how can I do it so I'm not getting absolutely overwhelmed with enemies. I like that. That's it's kind of metagaming, but that was the whole point of the premonition, is so that we get a bit of an idea about how this is going to play out. Okay. Let's choose my scout. So let's reveal the threat. So the witch is going to go first because she is the best at revealing stuff. And then we will... yeah, we've only got that one threat up here, and then the other 2 are down here. So only one threat will attack. We do need to take out the Scarecrow, though. Okay, let's see what's happening to us this round. Martial courage. Sounds good. Showing yourself worthy of the blood of the brave that flows in your veins, you scream at the top of your voice as you rush to conquer this enemy territory, frightening the beasts hiding there, and even some of your fellow men. Till the end of the hero's phase, when a Norse hero attacks, which is basically Dreng, in melee, each blank is a success. No heroes will be spawning, and as long as we defeat a hostile, we will only lose 1 morale, and we have 2 actions. This is good. This couldn't have been better as a kind of action. So the witch will try and reveal the threat first, which is over here. It is a 3, but I have got 4 dice to try it, and I've got support. Come on. Yes, easy. Easy, easy, easy. There are 3 of these little guys in this area. So it's good that I didn't rush in there and take 3 damage from an ambush. Right, we set that up perfectly for Dreng. I think the second action is going to be to try and heal Dreng, just to make him have his rage. Yep. So my second action is to heal. Yes, there it is. Flip that. Dreng is all prepared, ready to go. To be fair, he could. He doesn't have to move into that space. Interesting. Actually, very interesting. You know what? I'm going to do a +1 action on Ingwer, and she's going to do another search onto this threat token. And there's method to my madness, I promise. Yep. Now this one is no threat. So that means if we take these guys out, we are all good. Now, we will not... It's tough. No, let's move in. Yep, let's move in. So Dreng's going to go next. He's going to move into this area, which cost him his 2 movement. And then he's going to do... Now, fortunately, I've got Frenzy now. So he's going to do an attack with 7, because he's loner. So 7 dice. Oh, +1. 8 dice. And he has got Frenzy. So they've got 1 health. If I get 3 successes, I take all 3 out. And blanks count as successes, remember, because of the Fate card. Which we get 3 blanks for 3, plus 3 is 6. That's easy death. So Frenzy basically takes out all 3 of these characters. This is what Dreng's bread and butter is. And he's used his second action. But I'm not happy. We are going to do Rage. Or should I just use a +1? Let's just use a +1. I'm just going to use one of the +1s to do an attack against the Scarecrow. If we complete this, then, you know, it may be worth revealing this and just getting this open up, possibly, in this turn, against those 2 big uns. Although Dreng is the... See, what I perhaps should have done then, in hindsight, is left Dreng here, attack here with the shoot 1, because I've got the javelin. Then I could have moved here, revealed the 2 enemies here. Then I could have spent another +1 action to do this. Then I could have done my Berserk, what's it called, Rage, to attack the Scarecrow. Yeah, because he is best suited at taking out the big boys. But with that all in mind, I've got an idea for Bergen, I feel. So let's try and take out this Scarecrow. So we've got 8 dice attack against the Scarecrow, needing 4 successes with blank. Oh, and blanks do not count now because I have to do a shoot action. So this is going to be really important. Oh yeah, that'll do. 6 results. He absolutely demolishes the Scarecrow with his javelin. And we are good. We have cleared the Scarecrow. It's not very thematic that, you know, if you do a shoot 1, you don't discard this item. But if you throw a javelin, sure, I suppose it's like you go and collect it afterwards. I don't really know. Right, Dreng's done. Let's send Ingwill's done. Let's send the Madman. And the Madman is literally going to go and... let's see, the Witch is going to be on her own. She's going to take a full frontal 3 damage, but that's fine. He's going to reveal B, which will be 54. And 54... I'm feeling a lot more confident about it this time round. The path leads between 2 rocks and becomes steeper. You can make out the top of the hill beyond which stands the tower that you saw from the boat. Even though you will have to negotiate an outcrop of rocks by helping each other out across to get across. Your destination seems very close now. This thought gives you courage to press on and climb the last bit of ground that separates you from your destination. But your resolve disappears when you hear grunts. Two sinister-looking savages emerge from the forest and race down the slope towards you, whirling their clubs above their head. So, Saga G, Totem C, and 2 sluggers. Oops. Okay, so we'll put this one back. We will get C up to here. We'll put the 2 sluggers into here. Boom, boom. We do have another action with old Geralt. I think he'll have a shot. Why not? It is possible. It's 2 Valiants with the shoot 1. Might as well. There's nothing else I'm going to be doing. Let's flip this card. Defense of 3, if I remember rightly. Just remember... Ooh, that was the other thing. If they attack... Oh, they attack twice. Bergen has to take both of them out. Or it's going to be pretty brutal. So, 2 dice. Let's see if Geralt can flukily get a 2 dice attack. It's going to look very, very unlikely, but yeah, we'll give it a go. Can we use the wild for anything? Oh, blanks. No, that's for melee. Unfortunately not. He's got no support or anything like that. So he misses, as expected. Right, Bergen. This may be a really bad decision. Basically, she's going to fly into these guys. She's pretty good in melee. Sorry. She's not Norse, so blanks will not count. But she's got a few little things in. She has got this and a few other things as well. So first of all, she's going to roll 6 dice because of combat. She hasn't got frenzy. So in other words, I can only take out 1 miniature with this attack, second action. We're looking for 3. Easily does it. We even get these, which count as successes as well. So unfortunately, we don't have frenzy, but we do manage to take out 1. Then I'm going to use a +1 action, my last remaining +1 action, to go again and try and finish off this one. Another roller would be great. Yeah, perfect. That's 4. It's worked. Our risk has been rewarded, and we clear the area of threats. Oh, that was massive. I am worried about the witch. She is going to take a 3 dice attack now. So, we've finished. As I say, we've got the threats to do now. So, this will move 1. Actually, I've just seen. We've got 2 possible spaces. So, we look at the priority. And it says, the closest by the most wounds or the highest in society if in case of a draw. Both the witch and Bergen have 1 wound and are equal distance away. But Bergen, fortunately, is higher in society. So this is really good news because the threat will go this way and attack Bergen. Bergen is not in cover. That is a disadvantage. But she's got 4 dice in defense with protection, which will really help us. So 5 dice, blocking 3. Let's see what we do. And we block 2. We block 2, so we do take a wound. But it could have been far, far worse. Awesome. But the really good news is we are close to our objective now. We're not far. We're not far at all. That's all done. We're going to lose 1 morale because we did defeat an enemy. So we go down to 5 morale. And refresh our activation cubes. And now we keep going. So, round 5. Who's going to be first player? I think I'll move the witch into this area and then try and reveal this token. I think that's the play. So we'll keep the witch as the scout. So let's see what's happening. Caught from behind. Oh. Ever since you entered the forest, your progress has been slow and allows those who are watching you to track you. So the starting area, the good news is it's in the starting area, which is miles away. But it is a medium threat, like a greater threat. So let's grab one of those tokens and put it on the start area. That's quite far away, so that's not so bad. Are we losing morale? We are going to be losing morale, and we are going to be spawning. But 2 actions each. Which will move 2, and then she's going to try and reveal this. It's a 2 difficulty, and I also have support. No, I don't. Bergen does not have support, I don't think. No, she doesn't. So it's going to be a 4 dice perception test, trying to get 2 results. No. We fail again. Ugh, so annoying. Never mind. Okay, that's her done. The Madman will do the same. And try and with 3 dice, but with support, to get 2 successes. I need to roll this one. Oh, that was 2. That was 2. That was 2. Those were hitting 2. So that was 2. To reveal 1 enemy. That's what I like. I like those odds. Again, I perhaps could be using the my familiars a little bit more with 4 food. I just don't want to use the morale, and the bear's not great. That's him done. Which means I'll go with Bergen, which will shoot 1 with 5 dice against this 1 defense character. 2, which is fine, which takes out that character, and all nearby threats are now removed. She does have another action, so she will just move. I might as well move her in. See what's occurring. So she moves into G. So you can see that it's made it easier that we're able to complete the scenario. Hopefully, 99. Let's see what 99 brings us. Whoops. The path ends in front of a steep, jutting outcrop of rocks. There is a way through that is less risky and, above all, not as high as the others, but you would need the help of someone to lift you up there. If there is only 1 hero in this area, put back the Saga token in this area face down. Okay, so that's what's happening. You wouldn't read ahead at that point because it doesn't say or and. So you would literally just put that token back, and you know that you need another character in there. Dreng will literally move 2. He may well try to heal himself. Yeah, he'll spend his second action to heal himself. With the presence of the witch trying to help him. He doesn't get it. It's fine. And that is the end of all my activations. The enemy phase comes next. And this moves 2 towards us. We spawn on A, which is quite far away, which is always quite good. And we lose 1 morale, which takes us down to 4, which is still fine. We refresh. And we are closing in on finding our location, which is what we were after in the first place. So we will, I think we'll keep the witch as the scout. As the first player. That might be a bad decision. We'll see. It's not too bad. The boldest among you regrets her fearlessness when she starts to slither down an embankment. At last moment, she realizes that she risks ending up on a series of sharp spikes barely covered with branches. So our witch performs an agility test, which she's really renowned for, of course, which is a difficulty 2 because I'm not engaged. So her agility is 2. So 2 dice to get 2 results. She is getting support, which is cool because it is a test. We need to get a 6. Ah, boom! And she manages to nimbly dodge out the way. Absolutely awesome. We have 2 actions each. but this will be the end, hopefully. So starting with the witch, we go into this area, and now we have 2 we can read on. If there is more than 1 hero on this area, choose between these 2 options. You cross the outcrop of rocks and carry on to the camp. Any hero not in this area is replaced in the box. Its cards and belongings are placed behind the missing heroes divider, and you read 199. So you have an option here to just finish this scenario. If you've got like characters who are literally behind, like Dreng, he's been knocked down or whatever, and it's going to take a couple of turns for him to get there, this is where you may well do this. I don't think you would normally really go against your comrades, the other players, but it is an option. Or we wait and put back the Saga token face down. So we're going to wait until everyone's in that area, right? That makes the most sense. So he'll just wait, then Dreng will go up, and then the Madman will finally go up. And because we've now got all of them in this area, we can now proceed forward to the, hopefully to this camp. So 199. Oops. You climb the last rocks in a final effort, stubbornly refusing to give into the pain, to finally reach the summit and escape the anger of your pursuers. You can stop the game, so you can save the game at this point, and you can bookmark at 300. If you decide to continue, read 300. So if we go to 300, I believe, oops, that is the next scenario. Okay, so at this point, you would move on to 300. You set up the camp, which is a fixed board, unlike the expedition scenarios, which change with different tiles and different setups. The camp board, which is what this scenario is about, always stays with this board. This board never changes. Okay, and I'm not going to do this now, obviously, because we're running into, I don't know how long we've been recording for, but a fair amount of time. I don't know how long. But we were successful, and we were very successful in this particular case, because we looked at all Saga tokens. I must have done something wrong, because this should be here at least. So I must have missed that out on one of the passages that I read that time through. So just be aware of that. So that was on 2. That's nowhere near. And we weren't healing Alpha. That was not part of this particular scenario. Awesome. We ended up with 4 morale and 4 food, which is pretty respectable. And our characters aren't knocked out or lost, which is all good. And we have got our Javelin as our relic. So that was Hell the Last Saga. The demo song, which is... if we have a look here. The demo song, Bloody Horn. That was part 1. And we would now move on to part 2. Things you need to just keep an eye on are that you've got this Javelin, that you cannot use any of these 4 characters on the next scenario, and we're going to be choosing 8 characters on the next scenario. If we have a little look at the songbook, we are playing 8 heroes, which is pretty mental, but it'll prove to be really quite fun, hopefully. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. If you watch this later, and just remember, if you've got Tabletop Simulator, you can get this mod. Just search Hell the Last Saga on the workshop, on Steam Workshop, and you will find it there. There's 2 different mods, one for Scenario 1, the one I just played, and one for Scenario 2, which I'll play later at a later date. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I do love this game. The narrative element of it. I do like the fact that because you have to redo a scenario, they turn it into kind of like a premonition, like you've had a vision, you've had a dream, so you kind of have ideas about what's going to go on in the future of what it would be, and that changes your kind of views. I'm sure in the future, with actual future scenarios, there'll be more kind of permanent things that happen if you fail scenarios. That will happen to your clan. What that will be, who knows? But it'll be exciting to find out what that might be. Okay, thanks for watching, and now I'm going to turn the stream